What's going on, guys? It's time to roll out. It's your boy Rome. I got a question today on one of my forums on Facebook. A number of guys asking, even though I'm just starting out in the vlog community, they wanted to know what camera did I choose and why. Let's talk about it. Many of you guys that may not be following my other channels may not be aware of the fact that I'm a professional photographer. I've been shooting photography over 25 years, including video productions. So when I look at a camera, I look at a camera based on a number of criteria. How long has the camera been in the market? How many different versions of the camera's been out? Are there any known problems with the camera, its sensor, dynamic range, things along that line. And looking at the Sony, because I am primarily a Nikon shooter, in studio, and we also use Sony cameras also in studio. We have the VG10, which is an interchangeable lens, full frame sensor type of video camera. We also use the FS100, which is more pro model that's used for higher end video productions. But with that said, as I looked at a number of different camera manufacturers, GoPro being the leader, I looked at their different models, from the silver to the black. I looked at the availability for 4K. I looked at their dynamic range, and I watched a ton of YouTube videos. I'm sure like many of you guys have as well. So when I looked at Sony, Sony had a number of models out before the AS200V, the one that I chose. It started out with the, I think it was the HDR20. Then there was the HDR20. Then there was the HDR A30, I believe. And then they came out with a very small version, which was an HDR AZ1 VR, something like that. And then new to their lineup was the AS200, and then they came out with the FDR X1000V, which is their 4K model, which is a very good camera in its own right. But one of the things that I was concerned about is if I'm using this camera for my moto vlogging, would I be able to also use it for other applications, maybe in my studio or something like that? So the color profile, the dynamic range, things along that line were always major concerns to me. And what many of you guys may not know is that Sony is also the manufacturer for the chips that are in the Nikon cameras. So the color profile is going to be very similar in many ways, whether you're shooting video or stills, whichever the case may be. So that led me to lean more toward the Sony action cameras. Now, with that said, I do not take away from the flexibility of the GoPro, and also the Ghost. And you look at a lot of these new cameras that are coming out. I mean, man, if you hit Amazon or eBay and you search action camera, there's like thousands of different manufacturers that are knockoffs, and basically they're knocking off either GoPro, which is the main target, or now you see some versions that are similar to the Ghost out there, and all of them are shooting 1080p. Most of them are going to be 30 frames a second to 60 frames a second. Then when you get into your more higher end models, you get up to 120 frames a second, and some way beyond that, for ultra slow motion in your post editing. So when I think about that, I think about, well, I'll be using this for biker events, and I'll go out and I'll, ride and, do my moto vlogging and things like that. This camera's great for that. Then if I'm shooting a wedding or a conference, I can take these small cameras and I can place them, all around the event and control them from my wrist remote or smartphone, whichever the case may be. I'm not really that concerned about the audio coming off the cameras because we'll be using one of the pro cameras, and also professional microphones, for that type of media. So it just varies. But all in all, my main reason for choosing the Sony is its compatibility with my existing workflow. And the other advantage is that I use a number of different little rigs and mounts and what have you. And don't get me wrong, GoPro has an ocean of mounts for their cameras. But for what I do, And how I would apply this, you know, whether it would be on like a small pistol grip or something like that. If I was walking up to interview someone, I could just pop it right off of my helmet, take it right out of the frame, and walk up and talk to someone and get some video that way, and not have to worry about, well, you know, this is going to be a pain in the butt to carry this little box camera around in my hand, or I have to mount it somehow on my body while I'm walking around. Now, don't get me wrong, you can do the exact same thing with the GoPro, so you're not limited by that. I'm just saying, for my personal use, this is why I leaned more toward the Sony AS200V. Well, I hope that answered your question, guys. Feel free to leave any comments in the section below. Please like and subscribe to this channel. And another thing, as my YouTube channel is growing, I want to reward you guys for your input, your feedback, things like that, because you'll help me make this channel better. So from my first 100 subscribers, anyway, I'm going to be giving away a $25 gift certificate from Amazon. So the way this will work, guys, is from the first 100 subscribers, we'll pick a random number, and that subscriber will win the Amazon gift certificate for $25. So the only thing you have to do in order to win is to like the video, subscribe, obviously, and comment. And from those subscribers, I will pick probably, you know, within the same day that we hit that 100 mark. That's pretty much it. All right, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Ride hard, ride safe. It's your boy Rome. Don't forget, subscribe.